Hey, it's 11:30. It's time for Leadership Coachella Valley Lunch Conversations. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Yeah,
Great.
we've got a
Good.
special conversation today. We're going to talk about the class of 2020. I know many of you heard in the community from about our high school seniors, our college seniors, but this is our Leadership Coachella Valley class of 2020. Who Brandon is showing that he is the number one class. They are the number one class. But with me today, we have got another board member. We've got Abby Sturgeon. How you doing, Abby?
I'm feeling great, Sean. It's Friday, whatever day that is of the week, and I'm happy to be here and see these faces that I haven't seen in a bit.
I know we haven't seen them since February, so it is real special to see everybody here. But we'll kind of whip around the conversation here, the room here. Nicole, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi there. My name is Nicole Trigg, and I am a new business owner. We just pre-launched our company in September. It's been a dream on my heart for about a decade, but we take the symbolisms and the language of flowers from the Victorian era, and we create language arrangements. So I get to be allowed into the giver's heart and just hear what they want to express, and then I use preserved florals, and I create something for their special someone.
Excellent.
So great for Mother's Day potentially is what you're saying too, as you're a mother. But this is a great gift idea too.
I'll say that I actually have two of her designs.
I've been
in my
very
house.
busy.
You do.
I do, yes.
Yeah.
One is in our office, and then we had the other one on our table during the holidays, and now it's actually on our patio table, and it just looks beautiful being outdoors. So I'm a customer. I could say that. And Brandon, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Hi, I'm Brandon Marley. I'm the Director of Communications with the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber. So I oversee all of our marketing, our advertising, our internal, external communications, how we talk to our members, all that sort of stuff.
Okay, and you've been instrumental with being in the class this year with helping us out with the social media. So thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that.
Happy to do it.
And Tiffany, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm Tiffany Dalton Capobianco, and I'm a nutrition consultant. I have been doing that quite a while, but in a lot of different facets, so to speak. And it's been interesting during this time, kind of transitioning, but I'm enjoying the things that we're learning through this time. So I'm looking forward to sharing all of us what we're doing.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're all talking about how we have to pivot in our jobs and so forth. I'll tell you, I've never done so many Zoom calls and Facebook Lives and
We're very
so forth.
proficient at Zoom now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But Abby, why don't you share a little bit about yourself and so forth?
Sure. Thanks, Sean. I'm Abby Sturgeon. I also was a part of LCV, class of 2017. And I've been a board member for a couple years now. And my favorite component of this program is getting to each year connect with a new class. And this year, just like our seniors, graduating seniors in our local high schools, this class is really resilient too, and understanding of the changes and kind of what's going on in the local environment and global. But so it's really great that we get to connect in this forum and hear from you guys. So I'm excited to be here with you today. Yeah. And Sean, do you ever get to share about yourself? I mean, you're hosting all these Zooms. What about you?
Yeah, quickly I'll share. So I'm this year's board president. It's been a very exciting year with many new things going on and so forth. Not only being board president, my wife got a new job, and we had a baby this year. So a lot of exciting things. I'm the Director of Community Engagement in the Foundation for Desert Sands. So I'm engaging with the community with having these types of forums a lot with our community partners and so forth. But no, I just love I love that we're able to meet this way. I love people, and I'm really, really missing people. The biggest thing that I want to do, and I'll share about it now since I'm on my lunchtime, I want to just go to like Sullivan's and buy a $20 martini. And because I know if I can do that, I'm hanging out with some of my best friends, and we're having a good time, and we're back to normal. Yeah. So I can't wait to get there. But real quick, I'll share with you. You guys know this person.
Hey.
Yeah, Debbie, our administrator. How you doing? Yeah, so she commented there. But as I shared, we wanted to kind of talk about the different things that we're doing since March. We call it the infamous Friday the 13th, because that's when we got the notification that school was going to be closed down. So if you anybody want to like kind of take lead and share what they've been doing since that infamous Friday the 13th in March.
Well, maybe I'll start.
Go ahead, Tiffany.
Working in the medical office for half of my week normally. My last day in the office was March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. So that was easy to remember because I was wearing a lot of green and thinking, this might be the last holiday in this office for a while. Just the unknown at that point. We were able to transition pretty quickly to telemedicine, which was nice from a health perspective and protection. But it's a long day at home from 8 to 5 on Zoom calls constantly. Like physically, it's hard on me because I'm used to getting up and seeing patients and moving and doing and going to the fax or going to the whatever. So, you know, there's pros and cons to this, but transitioning in that perspective from the medical office, it's been great, but difficult at the same time. In my private practice, which I do the other part of my week, I am doing Zoom with, you know, private clients, and it's interesting how many different issues come up now compared to before. People are more looking at their health from like, how do I stay resilient? How do I stay healthy? What do I do? What supplements do I need to be on? Should I be changing my diet? How do I make sure that if I do catch this thing, that I'm going to be fine out of this? So I feel like I've been pretty blessed to have the opportunity to kind of guide people and help them from that perspective and take a lot of fear out of it and give them some power and control back in their lives, because people are handling this totally differently. Some people are like, it's no big deal. Some people will not get the mail, like will not step out of their house. So it's interesting what a like psychological effect this is having. And so I've been kind of playing a role, not intentionally, but I think giving them some peace and some grounding in this craziness. So that's kind of been my reflection.
Okay. I can see that your position, you know, in health, and right now there's so many articles out there about taking care of yourself and just understanding that this is something we've not all experienced before. And you know, I'm the director of admissions at Palm Valley School, and we're constantly chatting about that with our students because yes, you know, we want to maintain academics. Yes, we want to maintain our businesses and still have an income from a business perspective, but it's so important. And I'm sure in the health industry right now, that's ever present with just saying, you know, it's extra important right now to take care of yourself, and there's a mental health component too. So are you dealing with that as well, kind of counseling your clients in that way?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, anxiety, stress, insomnia, like all this stuff is based on fear and fear of the unknown. And, you know, I myself have been very diligent about learning as much as I can about, you know, the actual research studies, that what the science is saying, what are the cases, and what can we do? What are the experts saying? And kind of relaying and giving them information so they feel educated and reliant on like what they can do. And it really takes so much anxiety away from someone when they feel like they're knowledgeable and they don't have fear at them all day long from the news and this, and they just feel like, okay, this is like manageable and I'm doing all the right things, and they feel better about life and themselves.
Yeah.
They can now manage their families and they can do all the things to them. So it's so important to make sure all of us and our families feel that way about this situation.
They're lucky to have you.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I'll tell you, along the lines of the school district, we're actually launching our telehelp with our therapists and psychologists and so forth. And I'm actually going to be on with our assistant superintendent of student support services next week, where we're going to focus on each and every one of our therapists, and we're going to have a conversation with them, and then we're going to publicize it. If people want to ask some questions, so forth, they can ask them live, or we're going to also provide the information where they can go ahead and get the information immediately.
I'd love to send you something, side note, but professor of psychology was sending me some information on how to parent in the middle of this crisis, and like how to kind of, they listen to everything and they hear you. And so how you're reacting to it and what you're saying and what they're hearing is, they're going to really reflect, and it may be more traumatic than you think for little ones. So there's a lot of really great articles and tools, and I'll send them to you if that helps in any of your conversations.
Okay, thank you. And if I'm asked for some private industry people, I'll definitely refer them your way too.
Oh,
In
thanks.
regards to nutrition. One thing I want to say, nutritional wise, my wife and I have been very successful during the coronavirus. We've actually lost some weight.
Hey.
I'll brag that we're actually like following the guidelines on servings, and it's not like we're eating healthier. It's just that I've never had just 10 tater tots ever, and I've done that now. We're rationing. We're making sure, as you can see, I'm rationing hair product too, but we're rationing to make sure that we have things throughout.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of you, Sean. So
I had all the other tater tots.
yeah, me too.
That's too funny. But before we move on to the next class member, I want to say we got a little class battle going on here. I'll share this. Class of 18.
Oh,
yeah. And you got Rebecca Rizzo, class of 2009. Got an OG there. And then one of your classmates.
Oh, Alyssa.
Yeah, Alyssa.
I see her every day in our Peloton.
Another classmate, Eric. Hey.
There we go.
Eric.
That is so sweet. So if you're just tuning in to Leadership Coachella Valley, or you're kind of checking out the organization, there's definitely an annual battle between many of the previous classes. The organization started in 2001, and ever since that time, there's a battle of classmates to which class is composed of the best class ever. And it's really hard to say, as every class is so different in their industries. And I love seeing small business owners, like Nicole, come on to the scene and be able to promote her business and have such a heart for networking and giving back. And so I'm really looking forward to kind of hearing from you, Nicole, and hearing what you've been up to since we had our last class session, and how you've been doing with that.
Yeah. It's been pretty incredible just to hear, like Tiffany explained, just kind of the fear in people, especially that first few weeks. And we were approaching Easter, and so I just got a ton of requests. Can you just help me? It's my first Easter without my kids, or I want to send my grandbaby something. So I'm like, I've just got to get innovative. So it started with just a few custom orders of like their favorite candy, and you just order it on Amazon and target delivery, just get as creative as you can. And it was just such a joy for me to like create that experience. That it's different. It's not like every other year, but they still feel so intentionally loved by their mom or their back and forth. And so that was really great. It's been interesting as far as local deliveries. I hadn't done a lot. Usually it's all of my arrangements are shipped because they're preserved. But I've been doing a lot of local deliveries for, a mom that's quarantined and she just needs some cheer and some fresh eucalyptus, or, just whatever that giver wants to send their way. And I try to be really cautious as far as, like I always say, everything's with like gloves and love, like, making sure that I have gloves on and the recipient feels secure enough to receive that gift. And then Mother's Day, I would say that my business has quadrupled. I'm so grateful. It's just been incredible. And so I'm, just again, honored to just meet the need and create value in people's lives, and just bring a little cheer to what's happening here.
I love it.
That's awesome, Nicole. And you also have another business that I've been part of in regards to coffee. And my wife and I have been drinking that for a while. And you're quite a leader in that atmosphere. If you could just touch upon that a little bit, because you've got quite the Facebook following in the Success Squad. And it's pretty impressive. If you could share about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of started out, I was my husband's executive assistant in the financial industry for 9 years. Didn't get to do anything creative. It was just all like bookkeeping, and I was passionate. I love working with him, but I really wasn't able to explore my giftings. And so a client of ours introduced this new coffee product. It was almost 3 years ago, and I personally had just an amazing testimony with it. Had never sold anything before in my entire life. And I just started organically sharing it with our friends and family, and then they did the same. And it started up in Southern Oregon, started really went up there when I was up there for the summer, and then we got it down to the desert, and it was awesome how it voted. But I had never been in that form of leadership before, and so why we call it Success Squad is I love calling people's giftings out in them. I love seeing something in them that they're really, really good at that they might not see in themselves. And so it was so beautiful for me as their leader to just be, just equip them and just encourage them in what they're good at. And so it became a really collective leadership within our group growing this. And there's no way that I could build it if it wasn't for that team that happened. And so we had a couple other products we got into, a couple different spaces, but today is our new Slim Tea. It's a detox tea, totally plant-based, has probiotics in it, and the results have been incredible. So that just is dropping here in the Valley. So if you've gotten samples from your influencers, they should be in your mailbox today. So
I will say that what impressed me, not only am I a client in the coffee and so forth, but what impressed me is the way that you did the social media leadership. I'd never seen anything like that before, where you've been doing this for 3 years, and I'd never seen anybody who's leading conversations and leading meetings on Facebook like that. So I credit that to you. I think that it was the first time that I've ever seen anything like that, and I feel that I could try to model some of my things after that. So thank you for demonstrating that.
You're trying to model,
I
Sean?
appreciate that.
Obviously, yeah, there we go.
Speaking of models, Brandon, you're up.
There we go, Brandon, you're up. Real quick before Brandon, we got another shout out I want to put up here real quick.
Oh,
Nope.
Yeah.
All right.
And then,
maybe so.
And then Rebecca wanted to point out that their class, the one that went through the last major crisis.
What was the
about that.
The
08, 09, right?
yeah.
Yeah. But Brandon, take it away.
We are the most resilient class, though. It's not even a competition. So yeah, it has been a big shift for us at the Chambers. So if you guys aren't that familiar with us, we're the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber. We're the regional chamber. I apologize for my dungeon I'm in here. I do a lot of video editing and things like that. So I kind of stuffed myself in a back room with an old lamp, and this is where I'm working now. So I don't have adorable offices like the rest of you all on the screen here. But yeah, so one of the biggest first shifts we did is if you're that familiar with us, we have a couple visitor centers around the valley. So we quickly shifted all of them to business resource centers. So we kind of became a local hub for anyone who had any questions regarding anything with this. And it wasn't just for business, because business is our focus. We also are fielding, probably one of the largest calls we've fielded is regarding EDD. So we've taken anything and everything, and if we can't answer it and we can't handle it for you, we have the right people that you can go to. So I believe, and I'm going to get murdered by Diana or Josh or somebody after this call, but I know about a week and a half ago, we were at about 2,500 total calls. And we're taking those calls in both English and Spanish. So we have two representatives that'll take those calls in Spanish. Our Spanish calls have been almost higher than the others. So it's been really neat, and a lot of a really grateful community, because I don't know if anyone's dealt with the unemployment side of this, but their wait times, and it's not a knock on EDD. They're doing what they can. There's just been an insane workload that's come on them. But we've had people call that said, I've been on wait for 8 hours and I don't know what to do. And we've been able to work with our assembly members, work a lot with the county, and really push out to try to get some information that isn't elsewhere, create some clarification to people where maybe they're not quite seeing that clarity on the letters that they're receiving and everything like that. So we've kind of become that. It's been a big shift for us because it's been very different. I will give a quick little plug to a program that we're just starting up right now. in La Quinta. So we publish the La Quinta Gem each month.
Mhm.
And we actually have turned our June edition of the La Quinta Gem into a graduation issue. So it's specifically for the graduates, and we're actually publishing all of the graduates from La Quinta High School in it. And we do have some really inexpensive, and I cannot stress inexpensive enough. We've tried to go straight down to cost as much as we can because it does expand pages, but parents can purchase a really cheap quarter-page ad that we'll design for them to celebrate their kids. They don't have to. It's an additional perk if they want to do it, but all the kids are being listed and everything in there. We wanted to find what did the community of La Quinta need the most in June, and we felt the thing they needed the most was to celebrate the graduates. So it'll kind of be a secondary yearbook for them to be able to have a little bit of fun.
But
nice.
In La Quinta.
I'm sorry.
So I could speak to the different cities are doing great things for their graduates and so forth. So La Quinta is doing that, as well as I believe they're going to put some banners along Black Hawk Way to go ahead and honor all of the students there.
I know they put up ones, I believe, along 111. They've replaced most of their banners throughout the city with that. So that's been really cool to see as well.
And I know the city of Palm Desert's going to put something on the McCallum where they always light up their shows. They're going to put a tribute to the graduates of Palm Desert High, as well as on City Hall. They're going to have a large banner. City of Indio, geez, they've gone above and beyond. They've already purchased a billboard, if you haven't seen it. It's right at Indio Boulevard and I-10. And then you also have the digital billboard at the I-10 Auto Mall that is just flashing all the graduate logos and so forth. So the cities are doing a great job in embracing the public schools and so forth.
Cities and the chambers. So we're definitely thankful to you guys and anyone else from our other LCV classes. We have many local chamber employees that are alumni of LCV.
Yeah.
But Sean, do you want to talk a little bit about how LCV is adapting and how we're adjusting? Because it's an interesting positioning for us because we want to give you guys understanding and celebrate still our current class and our alumni, but everyone has been managing their own personal lives and businesses, and so we've kind of just been there in the background supporting. But this is the time when we're starting to come out with more information of what we're going to do for next year. So I'd love for you to talk about that.
Yeah, thank you, Abby. I appreciate that. No, we as Abby is saying, we realize that everybody's got everybody's got a list of priorities, and as much as we love LCV, we want you guys to make sure to take everything that's the most important to you and make sure that you embrace that first. And with that being said, typically this time of year, we're voting on new board members. We're getting ready for graduation for you guys. We're starting to recruit for next year, and we're still having all those unknowns. I'm happy to share that we have decided as a board that we are continuing the class of 2020 into next year. So once we find out more information, we're going to pick up right where we left off. And if it's either going to be in October, or if that's going to be in January, where we're going to continue where we left off and finish out the rest of the year with all of our speakers and all of our sessions, so we can make sure that you guys get your full class of 2020 year in leadership Coachella Valley, and then make sure that we also celebrate our 20th year as a whole. So we'll celebrate you guys, and we'll celebrate our 20th year. And we, as a board, initially I was thinking, okay, we're going to take a double class next year. So September, that first session is going to be not session 1, but it'll be session 6, and everybody do session 6 together. And we're thinking, how are we going to have a class of almost 65, 70 people? And then we just thought logistically, that's just crazy. And then there's still so many unknowns. So that's why, as a board, we thought it'd be in our best interest and in everybody's best interest to just continue it on for next year.
And which sessions, Sean, are we covering to start? What did we miss this year? We've missed
education. Education. This month would have been transportation, I believe.
And energy.
Transportation, energy. We also had economic drivers. The environment, that when we would, I won't say where we would have gone to, and then we would have had graduation. So roughly, 40% of the year. So we want to make sure to pick up and have all those sessions for you guys. Because I know that a lot of you guys are
wonderful,
wanting to come back to it and are missing it. I've been in conversation with some of you that are saying you're missing, not just so much the class, but the relationship piece. Just like I said, you want to see people, and we all want to see people.
And those sessions specifically, I mean, all of our sessions, that's a great question, Rebecca. I'm sure Sean can answer that too. But these next sessions, I really hope that the class gets excited. I know they will be, and I know we'll be so happy to be together when that time comes. But I learned so much, and we have speakers lined up that are incredible for these next, the rest of the year. And I'm just so excited that you really feel a strong love of LCV after you complete the class. I mean, already it's exciting. You've met new people, you've gotten in touch with new speakers, but it just, to finish out the year, you'll feel really, really good and very connected to the Valley afterward.
I'm really proud that you guys do that, and I can tell you my experience has been great. We're 60%, right? But I really learned so much, and not only connected with like our class, but also our community. I feel more knowledgeable. I feel more of capability of being involved and knowing and feel comfortable of like areas I can serve. And we were in the middle of a pretty big like class projects, which I think we all agreed we're super excited about finishing whenever that is possible. But yeah, thanks for pushing us over, and I think I probably speak for our whole class in saying we're excited.
I'll tell you, in regards to your class project, that was one of the first things that Dr. Borgen said to me. Hey, are you guys going to still do that? The principal of La Quinta Middle, I said, Dan, that's something that we're going to be evaluating and looking into next year to see what we do. And I'm happy to share that now that we've shared with you guys, that we'll tell them that the class is going to continue on, and hopefully that class project continues. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So there was a question, can alumni come to classes and so forth? Alumni are always welcome to attend any of our classes. As soon as we have the updated schedule, we'll have it on our social media. We'll have it on our website. We just ask that you give us a heads up ahead of time. Just email us, and that email is going across the bottom of the ticker there. Maybe Nicole or Brandon or Tiffany, anybody, if you're going to share about maybe your best moment in LCV so far. In the classes that you've been to, maybe not going into specific detail, but just talk of, some generalities, because we don't want to, give everybody all the information what we do.
It's the dance session at McCallum, hands down.
Okay.
I mean, if you were there,
okay,
I was all in, jumping on the floor, wiggling. It was great.
Okay, and I'll share that. We'll just say that we got to take part of the McCallum Educational Center there, and take part with that.
There was a dance break. There was a dance break.
Yeah.
As there always should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you ladies? What's been your, a memory that's stuck out to you so far in this program?
You go, Nicole. I've talked.
Probably. Okay. Probably my favorite, and it was the first class that we did. It was Morgan, I think, from Red Jeep Tour, and it was just amazing, the economy that we have in our agriculture. And so we took a private tour with her out in the desert. Want to take the agriculture one with her, and it was just it was just the awareness, I guess, of just how we can help, how we can serve, how we can support our community in the East Valley. And I just love what's happening, over in Coachella and Thermal, and it's just really exciting to see where it's at right now, and then just the expansion of it. So
okay. No, during my first class, they had a panel, and one of the people on the panel says, don't be surprised if out of this group you find some people in your wolf pack. In the movie, what is it? That movie just came out, and whatever, Wedding Crashers. And I feel like I've got some people in my wolf pack the Hangover. There we go, the Hangover. But I feel like I've definitely met some people that I would consider being members of my wolf pack.
Definitely.
I know that we haven't gone through the whole year, but any of you have maybe a potential new member of your wolf pack that you have met during LCV?
Yeah, I've definitely kept.
I have Alyssa Vatter. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I immediately thought of Alyssa Vatter. She is with Joyfully Grieving, and we've done some love bombs on the local children's hospital using botanical verbiage and the symbolisms over them, and we've just developed a really beautiful friendship. And it's just exciting. She's such a visionary. She's so just wanting to serve, but also humble in the same time. And so I'm so grateful to be introduced to her and just to see kind of where that goes for years to come.
Awesome. And Tiffany, you were about to say?
I was just saying I've stayed in contact with quite a few people, and so that's been nice. And outside of like business and stuff, we're like I was joking earlier, but speaking of Alyssa, but like Peloton groups, like we're encouraging each other to stay active and healthy and a little competitiveness or whatever it is. But we happen to have bikes or Pelotons that we have Facebook private groups and things like that. But as far as my memory or like something that sticks out for me, I really appreciated the day at Coachella Valley Rescue Mission. Really learning the needs and you hear the numbers and you see like on TV or like we need to go like donate to the food bank, but like when you're there and when you have people telling their stories, it just changes perspective for you. So I feel grateful to have learned about that and for one, just feeling more appreciative for everything that I do have, but then two, figuring out different ways to give that to people who I didn't realize needed certain things. So I think it's been exciting for us. Even part of our class project is donating to them too. So that was really special for me.
Yeah, they've been a great partner of ours, and they've been very receptive of always wanting us to come over for classes and so forth. Where it's been basically an open door. All we have to do is give them a call, and they're fantastic. Yeah.
What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, so on a serious note on experiences in classes, Find Food Bank. I knew a good amount about them, but really being able to go in there, go through just the food sorting. I mean, the amount of detail they go through to make sure that there's clean, healthy food available for the Valley. It's a really neat experience and it kind of brings you back a little bit. As far as people, I mean, this has been a really fun class. I got to meet, there's so many different people from so many different walks of life. I feel like I've gotten a lot closer to give two shout outs, Austin Beneteau and Jeremy Sage. Had a lot of fun hanging out there, but really everyone that's been in the class, it's been great. So,
it's cool to see what all of your organizations and the class, every organization that we have as a class this year and previous years, what they're doing and how we can give back. I mean, if it's reposting one of your classmates, like for instance, Kelly Bielo with American Cancer, she's constantly posting, their needs, and I love just being able to share that with communities, and that's how we can kind of stay connected right now, is seeing what others need in the class and seeing how we can kind of build each other up and maybe raise some money too. So that's nice.
Most definitely. And you were talking about Find Food Bank, and that's one of the people that the school districts has partnered with, where every other Wednesday at La Quinta they're giving out meals. Every other Friday they're giving out meals at
they're amazing.
In addition to the student meals that we're giving. So I know that we're giving like 80,000 meals a week, and I know that they're more than double that. And it's pretty amazing to see that National Guard come in and then work like clockwork to get their things set up. And it's just pretty fascinating to see.
Yeah.
Everybody's going above and beyond in the community, and everybody in this group here I know is going above and beyond the community and helping out and so forth during these different times. Before we wrap up, is there anything else that you maybe want to say just to the community in general about what's going on with your life, or maybe a piece of advice or anything?
Hang in there.
I love it. Hang in there. Cool.
We will get through this. We don't have a choice. So just thinking positive is going to be our most powerful tool.
Yeah.
I'd like to also wish any moms, dads, grandparents. It's Mother's Day on Sunday, and it's different this year. Yeah, Sean. It's looking different this year, and it's so important. When we have like birthday celebrations, we're so used to being able to connect and see each other. So just anyone who is either alone on Mother's Day or grieving or celebrating, just that we're thinking of you guys and power through this time for sure.
I'll give a quick shout out to the best mother other than my mother, my wife, Denise Marley. She hates being called out on anything. But happy Mother's Day. I love you, and you know that.
That was a good one. Make
it.
a husband points and son points.
Always, always.
So I'll share that next week. We're going to continue this through the month of May. We're going to bring on some LCV alumni as well as one of your classmates, Amy Shaw, where we're going to talk about realtors in the desert and what they're doing to adjust with things going on with coronavirus. And then the following week, we're inviting our LCV alum who are business owners of restaurants. So we have Jack from The Slice, Todd from Maracas, and then Eric from Kaiser Grill are going to come join us and so forth. So we're trying to highlight you guys, make sure that we can keep connected here. It's all about relationships. We've all done a good job in developing those. We want to make sure to keep those. Oh, and lastly, before we sign off, we got one more here. One more comment.
Umaima. And another thing to say is if you have anything that you want to share with the LCV class, send us an email and we'll make sure to get that information out there. If you guys are running an online auction or you have anything that you need, the masses support, let us know and we're happy to share that. That's what it's all about at this time. So do share that with us, please. And Brandon will get it up. No, I'm just kidding. I'll help you.
I'm on it.
You are. Thanks for putting this
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Addie. Oh my, I love it. Like I said, I love seeing people and I love interacting with people. So thank you. Looks like, I don't know, Tiffany's ready to get for a workout or something.
We're doing a cribs.
Oh, the dog. Okay. There we go. But thank you all for tuning in. With each of you, I'll share the links, guys, with the YouTube, as well as I'll download this so you can have the video for yourself. But till next week, guys, be safe. Make sure to wash them hands. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much.